introduce yourselves, have fun. With sparring, for me, sparring is not beating the shit out of Mark, right? It's all skill.
What FMA Supply does is we bring equipment made from raw materials from the Philippines.
Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Academy, fortunately, he's a long
Calixto Ilustrísimo from Master Tony Diego. Also studied a little bit with Tatang Ilustrísimo. This is longer.
Philip Papilia with Island Warrior 5-6.
The craftsmanship and the materials, the quality of the materials.
I help run FMA discussion. I'm one of the moderators and the hosts.
All the camaraderie that's coming out, it's regardless of system and style. So that's the thing that I really want to participate, because I love to do this kind of events with everybody else in the same mindset.
Come up, choose your weapon with your partner, go out, find a spot here, and then 5 minutes on, go, just have fun. You know, I don't think somebody's gonna spar the whole 3 hours, and then the food's gonna be done soon, so eat.
FMA life here at the Sparbecue on this beautiful day. I have the privilege of being here with Alex Bishop. Alex, please tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Oh. So I'm from Vallejo, California, Northern Cal, right? And I do Calixto Ilustrísimo from Master Tony Diego. Also studied a little bit with Tatang Ilustrísimo back in the 90s. And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, earlier today I saw you practicing with the Espada y Daga, right? Yeah. What were you working on at that time?
So in the Espada y Daga, basically is just a part of a subsystem of all the moves that Calixto Ilustrísimo has. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to make like bits and pieces of the moves so I can document them, right? Because I've had a lot of people ask me. So I was just trying to document the different details on the placement of, you know, your dagger, how the movement works, step by step. And that's what I was doing.
Tell us a little more about Ilustrísimo.
Okay. So Calixto Ilustrísimo became really famous because of Tatang Ilustrísimo, Antonio Tatang Ilustrísimo. He's known for his blade work, and I met him through Grandmaster Ernesto Presas. He was Grandmaster Presas was Combatan instructor, or the founder of Combatan, and he was cross-training with Tatang Ilustrísimo. I figured, hey, if my teacher was learning from him, I must learn from him. And I saw him in the book of Edgar Zulite. So basically, I was like, oh, I know he's a legend. And then I got to know him a little bit better. It took me a while to get to know and gain his trust, and visit him in Luneta Park to train. Eventually, you know, he kind of was, you know, not teaching that much anymore, and I had to, you know, life happens. I have to work, so I left for the Philippines, came over to the States, you know, worked. Later on, around 2011, I came back and I trained with Master Tony Diego, who was like the first student of Tatang Ilustrísimo. And he was also our instructor in the 90s back in Luneta. So I knew to go back home in a way and learn from my origins. So I met Master Tony again. He didn't remember who I was, but, you know, eventually, again, retrained, you know, get updates on training methods. And Calixto Ilustrísimo has been spread out, you know, through different masters. And the sword now of Tatang Ilustrísimo's version is being more known throughout the world. Before, it just used to be, hey, nobody really teaches that art. I think they're keeping it secret, you know. But through Master Tony and people who would visit him in the Philippines, you know, he was sharing it. We have a group in Australia, we have a group here, we have a group in Singapore. We have a group in Hong Kong. You know, so there's a lot of people. Even people from Europe would come. You know, and learn. So it's spreading. It's spreading.
Yeah. So the all of the different lineages or styles of FMA, they all have their different things that they, for anybody coming in to FMA, what if they're interested, what things would someone be interested to learn that they find in, particularly in I mean, there's stuff that different styles share. Or is there certain things, certain focuses of Ilustrísimo that
I get it.
that people can find?
Yes. So for us, it's like if you want to learn how to use the blade, particularly like the Zanzibar, the Pinotti, we do Spade Daga like everybody else, but we prefer to have you use a training blade, so you'll understand how the blade works. It can be a plastic implement like this. It can be wooden swords like you see on the table. So basically, you can either use padded swords like little Steve has. It basically removes the in the equation is how you're going to imagine that. Oh, if you use your knuckles and you're holding a stick, it's still a blade. It loses that part of the equation because you already know. Oh, I'm holding a sword right now. So if I do it this way, I'm really not hitting him. I'm slapping him.
Oh, right.
Right? I know now to use the tip of my blade. When I'm blocking, I more concentrated on preserving my blade and blocking with the tip of or the back or the flat of the blade, right? Or straight to his hand. So there's no blade to blade contact. So there's mostly that.
And a lot of detail.
There are certain things that we can't do with the sword that you can do with the stick, and the stick is more has more things you can do with it. We always say the sword moves, less complicated or more simple than the stick. On the stick you can go and do twirling moves.
Oh yeah.
You can hit with any part of the blade. You can do that too with this one, but it depends. Right? Are you using it for defense? Are you using it for hitting a person? So there's a lot of things that becomes more simple. Right? What else? We still do the same ranges, long, medium range. We have a different way of interpreting them. We also play with double swords. Puntay Daga is our Spade Daga, long and short. We also deal with the long dos manos. We also do knife. We do dirty boxing.
Dirty boxing too.
So
hand to hand as well.
Yes, hand to hand. But dirty boxing for us is like the cheap side. It's still boxing. It's not you'll see in the mainstream. It's still boxing. It's not a different art. So we don't call it another name. We just call it dirty boxing because you're basically cheating.
Oh,
right? Yeah. What works on the street, is how Mang Tony put it, because Mang Tony was a avid boxer.
Yeah.
He trained us, so that was part of our warm up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we would do that.
So it's rounded in that way that not only the weapons, you're going to get particular detailed training on using a bladed weapon.
Yes.
But it's also well rounded. It also includes a component of the boxing, possibly influencing the footwork used in it too.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there, and you were teaching us a little bit about showing us something a little bit about footwork. How like a little change.
Yes.
Where your foot placement can change where you're at, or what's reachable and what's not reachable. Man, that's awesome. Is for young FMA practitioners, or even maybe those who are who are Filipino and have not yet, they're just kind of taking it for granted that it's there, always going to be there, kind of thing. And what's your message to them, young FMA practitioners, or ones that we're trying to maybe encourage to come to the art?
Well, for me, for the young kids, it's best to start early, if you can. But you also have to have the hunger for it. If you don't have the passion for it, then it's kind of an obstacle. But if you do, you find different teachers and you go to their class. See if you would click with that teacher and the method he teaches, right? So it doesn't have to be Calisthenistrismo, right? It can be other arts. It's just, can I learn from this person? Am I ready to learn from this person? Because maybe, what I'm teaching is not for you. You might want to learn something else. But FMA it's not because FMA is the only thing. It's just, if you're Filipino, you're learning your culture. It's part of your culture, it's your heritage, right? And you're preserving, a fighting system that is available, right? I don't believe in the statement where people say, "Oh, it's dying in the Philippines." I'm like, why don't you guys know Calisthenistrismo then? And or why don't you know? You go to Negros, there's so many arts there. There's Tapado, there's Uwido Caburata, there's Yasay Sable. There's Piga Piga system. People don't even know what those systems are. Right?
I haven't heard of it.
Right? People think that the Filipino art is dying in the Philippines, right? I had a lot of friends my age and younger who will say, "Oh, I heard Master Tony is a legend. I gotta go meet and train with him," right? And time goes by, life happens, and unfortunately, he passes away. And in his mind, it's like, I wish I got to train with that person. So find somebody you really want to train with, because it's not a waste of time, it's fun. And if I was just forcing myself to learn from you, and I guess this is really not what I'm looking for, why am I there? It'll be like a labor for me to just drive over to that school, and find something you can enjoy. There's so many systems out there, so many people available. Do your research, meet those people, meet the students.
Come to us barbecue.
Yes, come to us barbecue where there's a lot of systems. Maybe you click with us, maybe you won't, right? No, but still, try it out. It's like food,
right? But
it's like food. You go, I don't want to eat sushi, it's raw. No, but have you tried it yet? I'm picky, right? I'm picky, but at the same time, I gotta try it too. If you're Filipino and you like your pancit, my mom cooks a different pancit from your mom. And then suddenly I'm like, my mom feels like I'm a traitor because I always go to him and I'm like, "Auntie, can you cook me some pancit? Your mom is a good cook." "No, but I like your pancit." Right? It's like that. It's how you feel. What makes you want to do this type of training? We're at this barbecue. Not a lot of people like to spar, okay? Because their ego's in the way. They get hit. Now I don't want to talk to Joe anymore. Oh man, I thought we were friends, man. You hit me so hard. I thought we were just control. See, so this barbecue is like it's teaching you how to mingle. You bond with different people, meet new people, right? And it's fun. You make an arrangement with the guy. "Hey, I'm just gonna hit you 10%, okay? Just tap me, and then I'll acknowledge it. If I didn't listen to you, I'm not charging at you. I'm trying to kill this guy, because that's how I was trained. I'm so used to full contact here, banging each other, But hey, we made an arrangement. But see, that's how now you're like, oh, I need to adjust with Joe now. I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't know. This is how I train.
Oh, I see.
Right. I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't know, right? Oh, in a way, it becomes an excuse, but at the same time, you're kind of like, oh, I forgot. We're not here to kill each other. We're just here to train a little bit. I'll learn from him. Or like me, I have no ego when I spar. When I get hit by these guys, I'm like, bro, you keep on hitting me with that backhand. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I saw your shoulder moving like this. You raise your shoulder, so I hit you. You know, oh shoot, that was good. So now on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in the mirror and I'm gonna train myself not to use my shoulder or telegraph, right? Dude, this guy keeps on hitting me in the hand, even if I'm moving. You know, oh, it's because this is what I'm doing, bro. This is how I read you. You know, so different ways. You're learning from each other. Put aside your ego. Meet some people. Man, we came, you know, from Northern California.
Yeah, that's where you're at, right?
Yeah, that's where we're at. I've seen these people on their Instagram. They're my friends on Facebook. You know, now I get to meet them in person. You know, for me, FMA or martial arts in general became like a bonding thing. You know, why? I meet Joe, I saw him train, and I'm like, hey bro, I'm Alex, you know, I noticed your system is this. I've never trained that system. You ever heard of Kali Illustrissimo? And it's not because I'm trying to want to teach him. I'm like, I want to learn from Joe. Hey, I want to learn your system, bro. You want to trade? So now it's like, oh, I don't have to go to a class. We'll meet up maybe at a park and we'll get together. You know, kind of learn. You know, I was teaching a seminar yesterday, met, you know, him, you know, and I had to adjust on how he can get it because I was trying to explain X, and he was having a hard time with that.
It's the first time I ever did any type of.
So it's like, okay, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how was I taught how to do that? You know, I was lucky. I had Coach Arnold Narso, who was Master Tony's best student, right? He's our head coach in Manila. He's like a brother to me, man. You know, when he teaches by detail, right? And in him I was like, oh, he was teaching me different than Joe. To other people, that's like favoritism, right? But for me, no, it's just like, he was just trying to teach Joe the way he can learn it faster. And he was teaching me differently because my mannerism was different. But I asked him, like, so why did you teach him that way? I kind of got that one. But when you were teaching me, I had a hard time. No, because Alex, you had this mannerism. You went like this first before you put your weight on this leg first. You know, he's lefty. Oh, shoot, I didn't even know he was lefty. So that kind of thing, you know, it's like, so, you know, sometimes you don't ask for it, but you have to get best people around you. That's why I mean, you need to know, am I in this for, you know, for fun? You know, who's the best teacher to go to for you? Because like I said, it's like food. You know, you might not click with him, but you can click with me, you know, but we're in the same group, right? Hey bro, can you explain to me how he did that? Right? And sometimes what I said was better for you in your mind than what he taught, you know, he taught you to do, right? But we're all helping each other. That's what sharing's all about, right? Seminars, you know, Sparbecue, you know, the blog, you know, because you're slowly exposing and helping each other. Like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I live in Northern California. Maybe I can meet up with him. Oh, I'm in Chino Hills. You know, you have Steve, you have you guys, you know, you have your group, FMA Live. You know, oh, maybe I'm a little bit intimidated to study with the master. I want to just study with a study group. You know, so there's stuff like that, which you know, for me, it's like I didn't realize that until, you know, I was going out and cross training. Because usually you teach and oh, this is my master, I love him, I don't want to go anywhere, he's got everything I want to learn. And then suddenly I'm uncomfortable when I go to another group of friends. I just got invited to, right? And I'm like, you know, a little bit intimidated. So for me, that's the thing about, you know, not only just martial arts, but you know, it's how you adjust to people, you know. You know, so FMA, you know, for us, the reason why we studied the blade was predominantly in the streets. You'll encounter, you know, a knife. You know, if you're intimidated by a small knife, this is longer. This is, you know, so now this is longer, right? This just gets shorter and shorter as we got taught, right? And then you blade awareness, You learn that, oh, there are certain things that you can do and you can't do, pros and cons. So for us, that's the thing. I think they're all good. Doesn't matter who you learn from.
So Northern California, what particular part of Northern California?
Vallejo. So Vallejo is 30 minutes away from San Francisco.
What's the best way to reach out to you?
I got a Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Facebook.
Alex Ursha. I also have Calis Ilustrísimo Repetición Original USA. That's
Okay,
how
yeah, we'll definitely put the,
Yeah.
the
I got an IG, Lakanduli one.
how do you spell that?
LAKANDULI1 at yahoo.com.
Okay.
Lakanduli.
And then on IG, what is it?
That's my IG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my IG.
So the part before the Yahoo.com. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't put a lot of videos out. I'm not good at video editing, so if you see, mostly it's raw. No sound, something like that. So I'm not a techie. People always ask me to put out videos, and I'm, still trying to learn all that stuff.
Yeah. But you have your forte.
Yeah. I also train Kombatan from GM Ernesto Presas. Been doing that since '89. And then I also trained Balintawak, which I trained with different Balintawak instructors. But I started with Tabimina Ber Villasin, who's Villasin Balintawak in Vallejo. Then I did Tabimina Balintawak in Hayward, and then when I went to the Philippines, I just trained with different masters, Balintawak. So, yeah. For me, it's like, okay, who's the most proficient guys in these systems? Can I reach them?
I see.
Is my budget, I gotta check my budget first, Oh, and in the Philippines, like I was telling them in the seminars, like, they don't usually just, hey, I want to learn from you. How much will it cost?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a commodity.
Yeah.
Okay? You gotta gain his trust.
Right.
You gotta know what, is the person in the mood? Is he really gonna teach me? Am I wasting my time?
Right.
Maybe I know somebody, hey, is that your uncle? Could you introduce me?
Oh,
it's like that. You can't go just straight up.
Right.
Like, hey, Steve, can you teach me? How much will it cost to go to your class?
Oh, right.
So it doesn't work that way in the Philippines. It's totally different. That's part of the culture.
Right.
They have to understand. Yeah. So I'm one of those guys who went out and my other instructor would get mad at me. But later on, I have to explain myself to him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's like the head of the family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for him, that's cheating. Right? That's cheating. You go to another system.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's inadequate. It's like, are you telling me my system doesn't work? It's kind of like that. But he's not telling you, why did I see you in Luneta?
Right.
Training with so and so.
Oh, yes.
Right? So it's a totally different thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. Like how you're at a point where, like, the originals, they're already in their golden age.
Yeah.
They're on their.
That's the best way. When they're in their golden age, that's when you want to study from them.
Sunset. All the masters are in their sunset.
Yeah.
Right now. Okay. So how do we make that generation understand? How do we work that out? Where like it's in the old times, it had to be a certain way because of how things are work.
It's like trade secrets.
Now, yeah.
That's like trade secrets.
But now it's different. So how do we make the?
No, we explain it to them. It's like, oh, you and him, you have two different styles, but hey, can I study with him? So you ask permission first.
Oh, I see.
And then, but even if that doesn't happen, it's kind of like you already gave him a warning that I'm going to study with him. That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
And then while I was in the process and he was getting mad at me, I had to explain. I'm like, sir, I already told you I wanted to study with him. But I didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. For me, where I came from, that's a yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm putting words in his mouth. Right? He didn't say anything. For me, that's a yes. But if you need me to stay, you smack me in the head and I'm, no, you're going to stay here, then that's totally different. Right? But you're also, when you study with somebody, you're asking the right questions. Why am I doing this wrong? Why am I not getting it the way you're getting it? Right? So he can tweak it for you. because you thought you were you're just going through the motion. You thought you got it right, but you're not getting it right. And he thinks you're satisfied.
Oh, I see.
So there has to be a communication. Has to be a communication going on. Master, how did you do this move? And you move this way. Oh, am I doing this right? Let me just see. But the master's not saying anything. So in my mind, I thought, oh, maybe I'm doing it right because he hasn't corrected me yet. You see? So those are different things. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. Okay. So basically what I'm doing is when he comes in, I move to the side so this weapon goes all the way there. If he extended that, it's supposed to not hit me. If I'm doing it right. Right? So again, I'm going here like that. But as it passes, I'm cutting also as he comes in, and I'm doing a kabaya. Right? I'm cutting him at the same time. So as it passes, he already get cut. He's open there. So I'm just gonna thrust. I'm gonna cut him in the hand. I'm gonna finish the cut. Okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is as he cuts, he might come back. So as he's coming back, there's my thrust. And there's my cut to defend myself so it won't go all the way through. Right? So as I cut, if I'm in range, I'll parry. Right? If I'm not in range, I'll let it pass as he does his backhand. And then I'll just drop on that hand. Because that might hit me. Right? And then I'll just finish again. Okay? So again, here, I'm here. Boom. Boom. See, now I'm trying to close it in a different way. 1, so it won't go through. 2, it won't go through again. Then I'll finish. Back. See? All right?